Hey everyone, welcome to the Google Students YouTube Live. Today we're going to be covering the Women Techmakers Scholarship geared toward our students in the Asia Pacific region. I'm Charlotte. I'm a University Program Specialist in Singapore. I work with students and interns in Southeast Asia, and today I'm joined by our engineers here, Kirchi and Roshni. Hi. They were Anita Borg Scholars actually in 2009 and 2012. So they're actually both software engineers based in the headquarters here. We want to know where all of you are viewing the live stream from. So we are currently in the headquarters right now, maybe only about 5 to 10 minutes away from where I/O is happening. Why don't you all go ahead and type on the live chat to the right of the video and tell us like what city you're in or what country you're in. Right now, I know it's really early in India and also in Australia. Maybe it's about after lunch. So we really appreciate all of you joining us for the live stream today. So as we get started, I want to quickly go over what we'll be covering today. We're going to do a quick intro of the scholarship. We'll talk about the application process, and then we're going to hear from our engineers here. And then we're going to give you back time to tell us about all the questions you're curious about. And we're going to give the rest of the time to all of you viewers. So let's get started. So I know some of you need to go back to school or maybe back to class. We're going to keep this about 30 minutes. And we'll get started with the intro of the program. This Scholars Program is a global initiative. So all our friends studying in Europe or North America, they also get a chance for this opportunity in their regions during other times of the year. The scholarship was formerly called Anita Borg Scholarship in honor of Dr. Anita Borg, who believed in the vision of having just as many women in computer science as there are men. And to make an even greater impact, this year the scholarship was joined into the Women Techmakers organization. So now scholars not only have a huge network of female students, but also a large network of industry professionals and resources to help them become great leaders of the tech community. So I know a lot of you, maybe in your classes or schools, have experienced being the minority in your classrooms. And I know maybe even our guests here have also in their education. We want to hear from your stories. Have you been maybe the only girl in the classroom of 100 students? Or maybe in your project groups, you were always the only girl? Or maybe it was reversed. Maybe in your school, there's more women studying computer science than men. Go ahead and share with us your stories on the live chat, because every story is unique and we want to hear from you all. And while you do that, I'm going to quickly go over the scholarship components, especially for those who are hearing it for the first time. So, this scholarship gives you a tuition stipend to support your computer science education, and you also get an all-expense-paid retreat to a chosen Google office for the year, and support from Google to continue to make changes in your community. And in addition, this year you can be part of the Women Techmakers Network as well. So I know some of you on the live stream might know where the chosen Google office is this year, but our engineers here have no idea where the retreat is. So we're going to do a quick quiz. I have some one-word hints. If you on the live stream know, please don't spoil the answer yet. Let's wait until we give a few answers. So the first one-word hint, feel free to just shout out any office that you think it is. The first word is barbecue.
We have an office in Korea?
Korea.
Yes!
Okay,
It's
Seoul.
Korea! Oh my gosh, I think my hints were too easy. My next one was going to be bibimbap and Gangnam style.
Oh, yeah.
But they're way too smart. So yes, our retreat is going to be in Seoul, South Korea this year. It's pretty exciting. We've never had a retreat there. Last year it was in Hyderabad, India. It's amazing. So we hope we get to see some of you at the retreat as well. And for those of you viewers who haven't started your application yet, here are the next steps for you to take. It's not too late. So the application requirements. Once you log into this website, you're going to go into a platform called EU Resources. And there, they're going to ask you for your general information, your transcripts. If you don't have time to get an official transcript, just upload an unofficial one and get the official one as soon as possible. Please put an updated resume and also the answers to the 4 essay questions. All of this will be due on Monday, end of the day, on May 22nd. So it's not too late. You can do it in a couple hours. Um, and a few friendly reminders. To be eligible to apply, you need to be a female student studying computer science or computer engineering, and you need to be studying in a school in the Asia Pacific region. Also, you need to be enrolled in the 2017 and 2018 school year. So, what that means is that if you graduated already or you're graduating maybe in a few months, you aren't technically eligible for the scholarship. If you're graduating in December, you can still apply. However, if you did graduate maybe a couple months ago or in a couple months and you'll be pursuing or you've been accepted to a master's or PhD program, you are still eligible for the scholarship. And in addition to all those requirements, we're looking for leadership, a strong academic record, and a passion to increase the involvement of women in computer science. So finally, let's dive into the questions for our guests. Our first question is, can you tell us more about your experience in the Anita Borg Scholars Program, now Women Techmakers?
Sure. Hi, I'm Roshni. I won the scholarship in 2012, but before that, I was in a school in India when I was an undergrad, and I first applied, and I didn't get it then, but then I came here for a master's, and because I already knew about the program, I applied again, and then I won the scholarship, and the way I heard about it was super strange. I used to know someone who was at my school, and he had just started at Google, and it was a big deal for us to know people from our school at Google then. Probably still is. And he told me about the program, and because I'd heard about it, it made it easier to apply the second time around, and then I won, and now I'm here.
Awesome. And how about yourself?
Hi, I'm Kurchi. So I have a story very similar to Roshni where I had applied back in 2008. I was a finalist, but I didn't win that year. But I got an opportunity to see all the amazing things that other women engineers of my kind were doing. And I came back and I then got involved in a lot more computer science related activities. And then in 2009, I went back and won the award. And it was a great experience for me.
Wow, those are pretty cool stories. And what else is cool is that you guys are both working at the headquarters now after a couple of years. So what was the path that you took from the university to get here now?
So my path is pretty straightforward. I applied for a master's right after I graduated, and then I interned at Google at about the same time as when I won the scholarship, so it was super fun. And then I converted to a full-time job. It's my first job out of school, and I'm going to stay here for a while.
Awesome to hear.
So for me, I have a longer road than what Roshni had. After winning the scholarship, I came and did my master's at US. Then I worked at a couple of other companies. I went to Oracle and then Facebook. And then last year, I came and started working at Google.
Wow, that's pretty great. Thank you for sharing. Also, so both of you are software engineers based in Mountain View. Do you mind sharing a bit about what you work on? What's your daily life look like?
So I work on the Google Identity Platform, and what that means is a lot of my work involves everything that happens after you click on the Sign In with Google button. We're trying to make it so that you have fewer usernames and passwords on the internet. More recently, we've also been working with teams so that you can reduce the chances of you getting phished by people abusing our APIs and stuff. And so that's a summary of what I do.
Cool.
And I work on the YouTube ads team. So my team basically works on a bunch of algorithms and uses machine learning to understand which ad to surface up to the user when they are watching videos on YouTube.
That's pretty cool. You never realize so much engineering goes behind such simple things as a sign in or like what ad comes up. So it's pretty cool that you guys work on those kinds of projects. So there's slides, as you have all heard, free food, rock climbing walls at Google. What are both of your favorite perks at Google?
So I was actually once in a building with a slide, and it was super fun, going from the fourth floor to the third floor. But that isn't one of my favorite perks yet. My favorite perk here is the Community Garden Program. It's a program that's in Mountain View where about a group of 5 or 6 Googlers get together and manage a garden plot. And there's a horticulturist on campus. She helps teach you what kind of plants to put in, what the season is, what's good for these plants, what's bad, how to deal with pests, and so on. And I found it really fascinating because I've always had green thumbs and I love gardens. And this gave me the ability to learn about how to do it, grow plants in my backyard. And it's really fascinating and it's fun. And we contribute some of the food back to a food bank or to the kitchen, the cafe kitchens.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
pretty fun.
That's awesome.
For me, I'm a coffee addict and I need coffee to get my work done. So I have a barista right next to where I sit and work. So I find it really great that I can just walk up to the barista, get whatever coffee I want, and then come back and get back to work.
Wow, that is a great
Wow.
perk for coffee lovers. So it's been several years since you've both been scholars. Do you feel anything has changed since joining this community of women?
Absolutely. So when I first started, when I first was a part of the Scholars Program, it was my first time in Mountain View. It was my first time in San Francisco, and I'd been a lot more involved in the community before I started, and it was a little new for me, and I was not familiar with the environment. Being a part of the program and meeting all the people that I did meet and seeing how giving they were and how much they wanted to participate in the community made me want to give back. And I've still been like that. It's been a while since I won the scholarship, but I still like to pay it forward, and I think there's great value in that.
Oh, that's great.
Great. For myself, I would say that the first time that when I won the award, it gave me a lot of confidence to be associated with this bigger brand. And I think that confidence has carried forward throughout my career, and it helps me till today. So that has
Wow.
been really great.
Very inspiring, both of your stories. So we have a lot of viewers out there who are interested and want to apply for this scholarship, but maybe a little nervous, maybe not sure if they can get it either. What about your application do you think that made you a strong candidate?
So first off, apply. Specifically about my application, so I was in an undergrad college where everybody lived mostly on campus, in dorms on campus, and that gave us the opportunity to participate in a lot of after-class activities and student orgs, and I was pretty active, so was a lot of people in my friend circle, and that, I think, gave me the understanding of how to be a leader, how to lead a group of people, how to be active and participate in the community, how to speak to groups of people. And I think that made my packet pretty strong.
Cool.
So for myself, I think initially the first time that I went, I was too academically focused, just on exams and grades and so on. And I think I came back and I became more involved in other kind of computer science related projects, which helped make my application more well-rounded, and I think led to winning the scholarship.
Great, thanks for the tips. And this is our last question. What is your advice to all of our viewers right now who will probably be working on the essays and their applications this weekend? What is your advice for them in preparing their applications?
So, like I said before, apply. As soon as you're done with this, go look up the application and start applying if you haven't already. But mostly just take a deep breath. There are a few essays to write, and it's okay. You've done a lot of writing before. This is what you do for your exams, so this one's much easier. Just take some time, think about your essays, and one of the things that I do want to point out is think about who you can ask to say, yes, this is what I did, this is what I said I did in my essay, and then the person who is going to write your referral can also say, hey, look, I know this person and they've done this thing.
Yeah, if you have any doubts, just go apply. And I think similar to what Roshni said, I would say put some thought in your essays, see how you can make yourself stand out. I'm sure all of you are very special, and just point that out in your essays and see how it goes after that.
Great, thank you so much for your tips.
And remember, you get to go to Seoul.
Oh yeah, you get to go to Korea. Just a reminder, actually, to clarify, she mentioned referrals. That's actually something we will not be in the APAC application component, so don't worry too much about that.
Sorry, my
No, it definitely applies to other regions, so always good to know. Finally, this is the time for you to ask us any questions that you're curious about. So go ahead and take a look on the right side where you see the live chat screen. We have chat moderators in Singapore and Sydney who are helping us build our question database so we can answer as many questions as we can with the time we have left. So we'll give you a couple seconds and then we'll start firing away with all your questions. Hey everyone, so we have a question here from Ankita Duta. Thank you for your question. What topics do I need to be good at to make most of this opportunity? So what topics does she need to know or be good at to make most of this opportunity?
I don't think there's any specific topic. I think anything computer science related should be good enough. You might be interested in operating systems or networks or algorithms, but anything that helps show your passion and helps your application stand out, that should be good enough. Right?
Absolutely.
So I do want to point out
Yeah.
that you should really consider applying even if you think you're not meeting the check boxes, right? It's been known
True.
that women typically don't apply for things if you don't meet all of the criteria. So remember that you don't have to be the best at every single thing we've talked about today. Like she has some great qualities, I have some great qualities. We're both at Google and we both won the scholarship. So think about what plays best for you. And so what if it doesn't? You could still get to go to Seoul as a finalist.
Absolutely. Our second question comes from Yao Hui Men. Is a Master's of Information Technology with a specialization in analytics close enough to a computer science degree? I'll take that question. I think information technology in some universities maybe do cover some computer science courses at times. So when in doubt, like they said, just apply. Don't worry if you feel like there is a technical component or a computer science aspect to your major, your specialization, you should just try and still apply. Thanks for your question, Yao Hui. Our next question comes from Ima Miri. Is there any chance to get a scholarship for part-time study? I'm working full-time for about 9 years in the IT industry, and I'm studying master's part-time for about a year. The answer is yes. The scholarship is meant for students who are both in education for full-time or part-time. Thank you for your question, Ima. Next question comes from Wei Ren Tan. Is a Bachelor of Commerce with a software engineering pathway considered technical?
Again, I think you should just apply. There are people who work on Charlotte's team, I think, who actually do some of the filtering and will probably be better equipped to answer.
And I think Bachelor of Commerce wouldn't necessarily make the cut, but because you are blending it with the software engineering pathway, you should still apply. You never know. Our next question comes from Lin Tian, and thank you, Wei Ren, for your question. Just wondering, can you share with us what kind of experience can be considered as helping women to develop in computing?
Wow, so
it
varies quite a bit.
Yeah. I think if I go back to my undergrad days, I was campus ambassador for a particular company, and I used to help students in general, not just women students, like people who are like a year or two junior to me. I think that kind of experience does count. I don't know if you have some other kind of experience.
I've done a lot of community contributions, and not all of them have been very specific to women in tech, but just to give you a quick example, the fact that you are a woman in tech today, the fact that you are getting, say, an undergraduate degree or a graduate program, it means that you're already a role model for so many women to come. You're a role model for the women you go back home and talk to. You're a role model for the girls in high school. And I think that's something you need to consider. Just the fact that you can go talk to one other person implies that you've influenced one person to express an interest in STEM today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lin Tian, for your answer. And actually, Georgia is also on the moderator chat. She's a part of my team in Sydney. She's just helped me clarify. Once you start the application, the tool will actually let you know if your degree is technical enough. So this is more of the reason why you should just try anyways, because it's the system that'll tell you. Thanks, Georgia. Our next question comes from Mahika Wasan. May I know your specialization in MS and which university? What do they look for to get into Google?
So being a scholar helps. I have a master's in distributed computing systems, and I went to grad school at UC San Diego. That's the University of California, San Diego.
For me, I had a master's again in distributed computing. Um, I think for the second part of the question, what do they look for when hiring at Google? I would say they look for strong computer science and technical background. And the second thing probably is leadership. So if you are somebody who can take a problem and go solve it, you are good for Google.
Great, thank you. And thanks,
Solve those
Mahika.
problems.
Thanks, Mahika, for the question. Next one comes from Ling Juan Liu. Can I know the Google ratio for men versus women? Is there a similar interview this year for women tech makers? So I'll take the second part of the question. How does the Google ratio look for your teams?
So my team actually is pretty good. I think we were at about 20-30%. But if you're looking for official statistics for Google, you should go to google.com/diversity. I think they have official stats there.
Yeah, in my team, my manager is actually also women. But in general, my team, it's 1:5, I would say.
Great, thanks. Is there a similar interview this year for women tech makers? So it should be similar to last year if you have any friends who have done the interview process. Our next question comes from 0+1L. They want to know what we're doing in the activity in Korea. Everyone wants to know what we'll be doing in Korea, so that's meant to be a surprise. Once you're a scholar and you get invited to the retreat, you'll definitely know. But it's a lot of development workshops, meeting with Google engineers, getting to network with all the other scholars in the region, and it's really to have fun and embrace computer science and all together in that.
You heard
One
her name.
weekend.
There's a barbecue.
Maybe. There should be. Next question comes from Manor Malik. I haven't done a project particularly for women in technical fields. Can I still write about my other projects and my perceived effects on them on women of technical fields?
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds great. Yeah.
The answer is yes. Thank you, Manor. Next one comes from Dinuka Tharangi. So she'll be enrolled in the academic year for so she's saying, for those who graduate this December and next January, can they still apply? Yes. The answer is yes, they can apply. Thank you for clarifying that. Let's see. There's a lot of questions. Here's one from Rupal Jain. Hi, I'm Rupal Jain from India. I want to know that through this scholarship, can I get an opportunity to intern at Google?
So I did. I think this is a very HR kind of question,
Yeah.
but the fact that you're applying implies that you're in the system, and so it's very likely that someone will reach out to you. I actually got the internship at the same time as I was a scholar, so I kind of went parallel tracks for it.
Yeah, I think for my case, I had already decided to come to a master's to USA, so I did not, but I know of people who interviewed and did an internship.
Yeah, so there's no direct route from the Anita Borg Scholarship to become an intern, but you get to meet Googlers that way, you get to know the organization more and to see if you're a great fit for the company. So definitely it's a huge plus to be a scholar as it opens more doors and gives you a better idea if you really would like to intern for Google. Thank you for the question. Another one comes from Wasia Nova. I'm studying in BSc in Computer Science and Engineering, and I'm a third-year student. Do I apply for the BSc or the MSc scholarship? I've already registered. So it's all one scholarship. It's for PhD students, master's students, and bachelors, so you don't have to worry about choosing one. It's only one to choose from. Thanks for the question. The next one comes from Natalie Afshar. I'm a penultimate year student. Can final year students also apply, or was it just for penultimate year students?
So final year means you're still going to be in college
Yeah.
in July or August, then yes.
You can apply. Yeah.
Yeah, so ideally, if you're graduating maybe towards the end of the year, you can still apply. But if you've already graduated or you're graduating like next month, you're technically not eligible. All right, we have another question from Ankita. Um, how much being a hardcore coder matters for this scholarship? I'm leaning towards theoretical. Will that be cool too?
It always is. She works on machine learning.
Yeah, I know. I think in general, if you can show impact with whatever project you're working on, I think that should be good enough. It can be very hardcore, maybe a little bit, off track and a different track. So I think what matters is what kind of impact does your project have or does your work have.
Great, thank you, and thank you for the question. The next question comes from Stacy Old. What's the process once your application gets shortlisted? Right through to if you're lucky enough to be selected. So I'll take this question. Once you submit your application, you'll be going through a screening committee, whether it's by engineers or staffers at Google. So Googlers will be looking at all of your applications and reading through every single one of them. And from that step, they'll select the shortlisted candidates. They'll go through interviews with engineers at Google. And after that, they'll be put into a selection committee, and from there, our scholars will be chosen, and you'll be contacted by Google to be congratulated. We have another question coming down to our last few from Nilanjana Lod. Any suggestions for attempting the essay questions?
So I think, like I said once before, take a deep breath before you do this. It can seem intimidating, but it doesn't have to. Like I said, you've been writing essay questions for your entire life now. You've been answering questions in exams. You've been applying to schools or universities. So this is not new for you. It's just there are different prompts. So it does take you a while to think about it. So just don't start writing right away. Don't start typing right away. Take a deep breath. Think about what you want to say. And then form an idea around it.
Right. So I would also say be confident, take a step back, look at what all you have done in your years and how you can best represent it. And that should give you a good essay at the end.
Awesome. We have our last question for today from Rachel Alger. I'm in my first semester of university, which means my transcript is blank. I don't have any marks yet. What should I put in there instead? The answer is you can place your high school transcript for now, and then Google will reach out to you after if they need more information. So,
Please apply.
yes, please apply. So I think that's all the time we have today. I'm so sorry if we didn't get to your question, but we'll try to see if we can get it offline and maybe email a follow-up to you somehow. I want to thank you all for joining us today. I know it's early in some places and getting a little bit late in other places, but a big thank you to all of you. A big thank you to our chat moderators and our video production team, and also to our 2 engineers for staying back late this evening to join us and give you all some tips. Before I forget, right below the video, there's a feedback link. So go ahead and click that, and it takes just 1 or 2 minutes to give us some feedback about what can we do better and what can we improve on and add into the session for next time for other students. And last but not least, we hope you consider applying for this scholarship. It's a wonderful opportunity to be a part of the Women Techmakers Scholars Program. And I know all of you are studying in a field where sometimes on some days you feel the odds are just against you. But we're here to support you. Google's here to support you. You have women like us rooting for you along the way. So take that time to apply this weekend. Don't freak out too much. Just start the application to the end. And happy Friday. Have a wonderful summer break for those of you who are on vacation now, and we hope to see you again next time. Bye, everyone.